Hello, all. My name is Charles, and I have been working at South Miami branches for almost 4 years now. And on today's segment, we're going to be talking about protest, why we're protesting, um, what protesting has done, and what can you do to help. Why are we protesting? On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, was killed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, during an arrest for allegedly using a counterfeit bill. Derek Chauvin, a white police officer, knelt on Floyd's neck for almost 9 minutes while Floyd was handcuffed and lying face down, begging for his life and repeatedly saying, "I can't breathe." A second and third officer further restrained Floyd while a fourth prevented bystanders from intervening. During the final 3 minutes, Floyd was motionless and had no pulse while Chauvin ignored onlookers' pleas to remove his knee, which he did not do until medics told him to. The following day, after videos made by witnesses and security cameras became public, all four officers were fired. Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old African-American emergency medical technician, was fatally shot by Louisville Metro Police Department officers on March 13, 2020. 3 LMPD officers executing a no-knock search warrant entered her apartment in Louisville, Kentucky. Gunfire was exchanged between Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, and the officers. Walker said he believed that the officers were intruders because they did not announce themselves. The LMPD officers fired over 20 shots. Taylor was shot 8 times, in which she passed away. The officers entered Taylor's home without a search warrant, opened fire with total disregard for human value of human life. Her death, along with George's, sparked the Say Her Name, Say His Name campaign and resounded Malcolm X's statement saying that the most disrespected person in America is the black woman, and called for further protests until justice for Taylor is secured. No officers have been fired or arrested as of today for Breonna Taylor's murder. Floyd's death triggered demonstrations and protests in over 2,000 U.S. cities and around the world against police brutality, police racism, and lack of police accountability. Ultimately, the power for change rests with the people. It always has. And we are the people. Change won't come easy, but it must come. The voice of George Floyd was silenced by brutal cops, but we, the people, will make sure his name and his voice will never be forgotten. So what can we do? We can sign petitions, we can march, we can spread the word on our social medias, we can educate ourselves on Black history, we can educate others. You may say to yourself, "Oh, I'm too young to make an impact." Well, Branches and I are here to tell you that that is a lie. For example, a 15-year-old Portland, Oregon girl named Kellen created a Change.org petition called Justice for George Floyd that became the most signed petition in Change.org's history, with now more than 16 million signatures. Kellen said in an interview that she realized the daunting challenge for people her age to become social leaders in times of great social upheaval and crisis. Her age was actually an asset. She recognized that social media would be the most effective tool to reach teens and spread awareness about police brutality and racism. Now she has become a sterling example of how young leadership can foment and foster change. As long as the protests stay smartly focused on advancing lasting social change and remain vigilant against anarchists and opportunists who would hijack a just movement, progress will occur. Meaning, as long as we stay focused on the movement and not focused on people who are taking advantage of these situations, such as looters, then we can still continue to make progress. So, what has protesting accomplished so far? In Minneapolis, a veto-proof majority of councilors vowed to dismantle the police on Sunday, pledging a transformative new model of public safety. Now, council members plan to develop a plan for policing with the community. Having analyzed 911 calls, they already found out that the majority of calls pertain to mental health services, health and emergency medical services, and fire services. And so, in part, they are committing to redirecting these efforts to social services instead of the police. In New York, after protesters called out NYPD's $6 billion budget and demanded that they reallocate funds to the people, after some debate, the city mayor, Bill de Blasio, pledged to redirect some of New York City Police Department's funds towards youth and social services. He committed to repealing Section 50A, which prevents the public from accessing disciplinary records of police officers. In Virginia, Alabama, and even the UK, statues of Confederate generals and slave owners have been torn down by protesters. These are all things that have been accomplished as a reaction of George Floyd's death. And these are all good things, right? So don't ever let anyone tell you that marching and peaceful protesting does not bring results. Because with consistency and with doing it the right way, it has brought results and it will continue to bring results. So some of my final thoughts here. Nowhere is the nature of the relationship more clearly seen than in statistics that reveal that 1 in 1,000 black males die annually as a result of a police encounter that turns violent. No other American race even comes close. African Americans make up 13% of the U.S. population, but are more than 2.5 times as likely to be killed as police than a white American. The almost casual nature of Floyd's violent arrest by Derek Chauvin reveals how black Americans continue to be targeted, brutalized, and often killed simply because their race and skin color renders them a suspect. Being black is a pre-existing condition when it comes to law enforcement, and that is one of the roots of the issue. But the killing of Floyd has exposed an awful truth and exposed that radical change is needed, and it is needed today. That is why we protest. That is why I protest. And that is why we believe that you, branches, all of us have a voice and will continue to have a voice for change.
Hey guys! Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel
and follow us on all social media.
Thanks for watching!